The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
Welcome to a beautiful Wednesday, June the 13th. It is the Queen's official birthday. Thank God we divorced ourselves for kings and queens a long time ago, but you know, every day I like to start off the show with something, and this is it. This is the only thing that's official on the 13th of June, and apparently it has something to do with all the different parts of the Commonwealth that they can all celebrate the Queen's birthday or King's birthday all on one day, and it's I think it has very little to do with what day that they're born on. I think it always is a day to remind them of it. I've got a friend, he starts about the last week of June and reminds me it's his birthday about 3 weeks after his birthday, and tries to milk it for everything it's worth. I think Queen had kind of a nice birthday last week. This kind of reminds me just a little bit of it. I always say it is the month of Joe, because he's, did you know it was my birthday? My birthday's coming up. My birthday was last week. He really milks it for all it's worth. I know some people milk things ad nauseum, but this guy has his birthday cornered in the milking department. But a good friend nonetheless for now, for what, 37 years, 36 years? Been a good friend of mine. We've got, title's a little wrong on my slide here, but of course Jamie Dimon was being grilled supposedly in front of a hearing on Capitol Hill today. Of course, they knew exactly what they were doing and lost $4 or $5 or $6 billion. Who really going to know until it's over? But at the same time, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Dabali, Q.E. Dabali, was the UBS rogue trader who allegedly lost over $2 billion in unauthorized trades. He actually got bail, and they drove him in England to a McDonald's parking lot and dropped him off. You know, normally, now, I've never been out on bail or anything, but they it seems kind of weird that they would drive. The cops would drive you to anywhere you want to go when you get out, but that's apparently what they do in England. They put you in a cop car and drive you to the McDonald's, where he apparently met with his lawyers. A lot of times it's really tough to know whether or not he truly was unauthorized, or if he was just a person to take the fall if the trade went the wrong way for the company. A lot of times you wonder what happens. In fact, there's a gentleman, I think his name is Ken Black, from the University of Kansas City, Missouri, that's written a big book on a lot of these guys that supposedly were rogue traders, and about 10% of them actually get prosecuted and see jail time. A lot of them tend to be sacrificial lambs for the higher-ups in the company. But certainly this was, quote, unauthorized. The trades for J.P. Morgan were authorized. Which one's really the worst? You don't really hear a lot of talk about this, that a single guy supposedly could, lose $2 billion. And when you I saw him on TV and everything, you wouldn't think that someone would turn the keys over to $2 billion to this guy, but maybe it's just me. So it is interesting. Let's see if I've got, one of the things I thought kind of interesting on Monday night, Andy Frankenberger, he is a former derivatives trader. Big guy, was making a lot of money. 2 years quit to go play poker. was actually a very, very good derivatives player, and just decided that he had had enough, made enough money. He wanted to go play poker for a while. So in 2 years, he went from playing poker occasionally to playing poker full time. Monday night, he won the poker tournament's 10,000 limit hold'em game on Monday night. He won just a little less than $500,000 in a big gold watch. He beat Phil Ivey, who's considered the best poker player, I think, in the world, day in and day out. The reason why I bring this up is how many of these people that have actually been very good at doing something like being on Wall Street do well in cards. It is a very similar discipline, and when asked for Andy about what it was, his secret, it's all about risk management, he said. If the market goes against you and you're wrong, you get out. A lot of poker players don't know how to do that because it looks weak. I can fold a hand that makes me look weak. I don't care about my image. I care about winning. But there's a kind of a rhythm to it, other than the fact that if you're at a poker table in a tournament, you can't say you just don't want to play. You still have to throw in your antes as they come around. Other than that, very similar to the stock market or just markets in general, in that you've got information, but it's imperfect information. You don't know everything. Your opponent also doesn't know anything. You have to infer a lot of things, and the decision making that actually goes into that always fairly good at pushing what we want to see in the marketplace, but looking pretty good. Windows RT pricing is out. It's going to cost the OEMs about $80. Windows RT is going to be the operating system for tablets. It will run on the Atom processor. And people kind of thinking maybe it was a little more expensive than people thought. But apparently Microsoft's working very hard to add a lot of features, a lot more features than you would actually find on Apple's tablet. But to give you an idea, OEMs right now pay from somewhere around $30 to $45 per Windows 7, $30 per Windows Phone 7 devices, and Windows 7 is around $50 per unit. So $80 is a pretty good amount of money for a tablet device, but they're going to be putting a lot into it. Certainly not going to be extremely cheap tablets like the Google Android ones. Looks like they're going after a little higher end market, but for people that want to be able to use a phone, a tablet, and a desktop and be able to run pretty much the same applications. The RT won't run Windows full tilt applications. They'll have to be specifically written for it, but a lot of the languages that people have been writing with for the last 15 years are available. So porting these to these applications probably going to be fairly quick. Probably going to see a lot of these people that have had programs out for a long time get a nice little spurt of growth in there. Ultrabook's better than the new MacBook Air. I was kind of disappointed, market was too, in Monday's presentation of Apple's developer conference. A few things were kind of interesting. Everybody was wowing about the new displays on some of the MacBook laptops. One of the things is that the Ultrabooks have already leaped ahead to full HD displays, even on some of the less expensive models. So even though the fanboys at Apple were really pushing how great the new Retina display, and it actually is a little larger than HD displays, but really, there's some things that make me just want to go, huh, is it really that big a deal? The other thing is that really talking about how much the thing weighs. To me, if it was 2.5 pounds to 3.5 pounds, I wouldn't have noticed the one different pound. I mean, I don't know, maybe people are all 90 pounds and just coming out of a concentration camp, can't lift anything. But 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds, probably not a big deal. But if you, the record right now, and it's going to be less than the new MacBook Airs, comes in at just 2.14 pounds from the Gigabyte X11. It's got a all-carbon fiber body, and it's even less weight. And somehow, I don't know, maybe it's me, the feature that the laptop weighs just a half a pound less, or, is a lot of things that really have little to do with its actual functionality just kind of leave me cold. But a lot of people were taking a big yawn at Apple this week, and I'm kind of one of those that don't think that there was that much difference. It's been, 585. It's going to have to jump the creek to get above that level. It's off about $4 today, 572. Whole market's kind of pulling back a little bit, off about 6 on the S&P as we speak. Volume was very light earlier today. In fact, let me update that. See if it's come in. 2.4 billion shares right now, so with 45 minutes to go. Makes me think we're probably going to be another day. We're coming in at about 3.2 on the consolidated tape for the New York Stock Exchange. Could it get ugly here? It could, but again, not a lot of volume, not a pressure up, not a lot of pressure down. This level right about here actually looks fairly decent for almost a level where the markets kind of could hang out here a little bit. I personally would love to see 1285 on the or 1295 on the S&P cash, because so many stocks would line up there. If we get down there with light volume, we might have some really decent trades. U.S. Justice Department has launched an investigation to see whether cable TV companies are intentionally trying to hurt the growth of Internet-based TV providers in order to preserve their own monopolies. I can answer that question. It's yes. And I don't know if hurt's the right way. They're trying to get a competitive advantage. Don't count data that you use from us if you view or stream movies from us, but we'll count it for others. This whole net neutrality thing is probably, especially since it's covered by the FCC, really needs to be handled almost like international, or not international, but interstate highways. It probably needs to have one kind of law, and whether or not your provider is also in the business of spitting out movies probably needs to be separated, much like the phone companies and long distance were years ago. You can't. The temptation is just too big for those people in the companies. And just a statistical note, I'm always looking at statistical studies. One that kind of caught my eye today was a study was based on 2.4 million deaths of Swiss people between 1969 and 2008. And it found out that men and women are about 14% more likely on their birthday than any other day during the year to die. Kind of interesting. I guess everybody gets excited, probably especially if you're later in life. But kind of interesting. 14% more likely to die on your birthday out of 365 days. Huh. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you gain access to each host charts and computer screen as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, Dave White, Larry Pezzavento, or Victor Jones, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV yet, then visit TFNN.com today to see what you're missing. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments. And whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Stock market corrections are the number one reason that a buy and hold investment strategy produces the poorest results, and I have 73 years of data that proves it. Now, the good thing about economic difficult times is that the worst economy can produce the best rewards in the shortest period of time. In fact, during the last 130 years, 61% of that time period has been spent in recession. And if you're one of the 70% of American households relying on their 401ks and IRAs for retirement, you need the single strategy that is bulletproof against the turmoil of our stock markets. Go to the homepage at TFNN.com. Under Breaking News, click on Success is a Numbers Game to receive this must-have free report. This bulletproof strategy may be days away from giving the next signal. Don't neglect your retirement, and don't neglect this signal. If you're even a little bit interested in accumulating wealth, providing a better life for you and your family, then go to TFNN.com to order your free copy of Success is a Numbers Game today. Implement the disciplines contained in this report, and success will be yours for the taking.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll discuss your stock. And this is probably a fairly decent day to call in. It's kind of a light day, although market is starting to finally fade. Kind of thought that this would happen a little earlier today. I certainly want to see that 12.95 to get a decent signal. Was thinking we probably would see that this morning, and maybe just a little off. Need a little patience. Need the cards to fall our way, but we'll see how this happens. But not a lot of volume so far, but $3.3 billion on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange looks fairly good for the end of the day at the run rate right now, which is not a lot. So I'd like to see this thing drift a lot lower and get into that 12.95 with light volume, maybe even take all the way to 4th of July to set up a really good rally maybe into the end of the year. But we'll have to see how it goes. But certainly summertime volumes are here, and it is getting much tougher to get a lot of momentum built up one way or the other. One of the ones we've been watching here on the show has been Alcoa. And, it's probably a good indication of industrial production, energy costs. Well, maybe not the biggest trader you want to be in, but certainly one that correlates well to the broad economic conditions of America. I've been watching this $8.50 level out here on December 28th. It came in with 35 million shares. Got below it on June 4th with 26 million shares. You know you're going to get a nice little pop. What you haven't seen, though, is a sign of strength pulling through. And until we get that sign of strength, there's probably not a lot of confirmation that this movement to the downside is over. What we are seeing, though, is not a lot of energy on the way back down also. Eventually we need to close back above $8.50, but I would love one more time to see if this thing could get down into the 821 area on maybe even a lighter volume than we have now. Set up some kind of buying opportunity for the entire market. Probably won't be buying Alcoa, but certainly not a lot of energy down here. That's why I'd like to see that 1295 on the S&P cash tested one more time. Another one that is fairly interesting, Allot Communications, ALLT. Let's see what we have here. One of the ones actually given a fairly decent signal. It's kind of topped out. Don't know a lot about this company other than develops and sells marketing, internet protocol, service optimization, and review generation solutions in Europe, Middle East, Africa, Americas, Asia, all over the world. Kind of a little bit mitigate security risks, leverage network infrastructure systems. Basically too complicated for most people to understand, but it makes a gateway platform for broadband service control and optimization. A lot of security application black boxes, let me put it that way, that they sell back in here. But Allot Communications, ALLT, May 2nd, saw the high at $26.97, 1.3 million shares, and went above it on June 12th. We have closed below it, but the volume came in at just 610,000 shares. So a pretty good indication that it had made a top and was certainly a decent sell signal back here. And, of course, your last volume level is $21.10. Although you had a decent sign of strength, may not pull all the way back down, but maybe $24.50, somewhere in that range. We've got about a minute and a half left. I wanted to bring up, because I hadn't already, the Tiger Dollars promotion. You really ought to be thinking about this, especially if you'd like to get either one of my newsletters or anything else from TFNN. The absolute best way to do it, and I'm calling it the Summer of Education. That's right, the Summer of TFNN Education. That means that you're going to get, with your Tiger Dollars promotion and purchase, you're going to be able to get 7 webinars starting, I think, in just a couple weeks, every Wednesday night. I'm going to be doing one on statistics and correlations in the market, a lot of other things that would have to do with a mathematical aspect of technical analysis and maybe understanding a few of the things that people do on Wall Street, like the high-frequency traders and other traders. But if you wanted to kind of peel back the curtain and look behind and see what they're doing mathematically, maybe you won't have 10,000 computers whirling away in the background, but you'll know what they're doing. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Had a couple of questions in the den. One, someone was asking about DDD and why it was off a big amount. In fact, let me pop it up here real quick. What is it at? Off about a little over 9%. They are coming out with about 100 million additional either it was dollars or shares. I think it was $100 million in shares. And market, it had already made a fairly decent signal that it had topped out. Of course, it was one of the long-term holdings in my newsletter that we did sell. We were in it below 18 for a while, and it finally broke out. Did a nice little ABC up for us. We got out, I don't know what, a week ago or more. But it had a pretty good signal that it couldn't go higher than the May 1st high, $31.56, had 2.1 million shares. Tried to go in with about 1 million shares on the 6th. Did a little reversal on the 7th. Tried a little bit more, but the volume up in here, when you look at it, 600,000 shares, 700,000 shares, 700,000 shares, was very light volume back in there, trying to go over that 31.56 high of May 1st. A little bit weak out there, so not too bad, but we were already out of it. But it a little tough, but that's what it is. It was showing it we'll have to watch for this thing to pull back. But there's probably they've got earnings, I think, in about 7 days, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that them announcing these share kind of a not liquidation, but announcing these shares kind of put a cold damper on them releasing their earnings coming out here shortly. So probably not a bad time to be out of this. I think one of the stronger stocks in the marketplace. Another one asked, hey Dave, I never heard AMD mentioned in tablets. Are they working on anything? The answer is yes and no. AMD, I brought it up a few times, has a problem that they don't have their own foundry, so they can't make their own stuff. They're dependent on a few of these, the two fabs. In fact, they had problem with one even doing the 28 nanometer technology in a rollout. I was long for them, and actually got out for the little pop, but they're back probably where they should be. I think that they'll probably do well next fall, especially in laptops. They've got some fairly decent low-power alternatives to Intel, especially in a price-conscious market. But in tablets, what they really need to have is very small manufacturing capability to reduce the size of their chip, which reduces the power it pulls, because in tablet, battery life is everything, even more than the laptops, because you pretty much assume you're going to be wandering around with a tablet, which and a lot of times in a laptop you can also plug in at the Starbucks or something like that. So AMD still, I think that they've got a problem in that they really need to control their own manufacturing, and they don't, so they don't control their destiny, and it's going to be tough for them. ARM's holding really has that market that AMD would have, but it's going to be, I don't know if they're going the way of the dodo bird. They've got 45% margins, still great margins comparatively. But Intel has still got 65% margins, and they can plow all that back into design. AMD's kind of a half a generation behind on speed, and a full generation behind on power consumption, and that's always going to be a problem for them. They had a very narrow opportunity when I really liked them. And they just didn't seize the moment. They really had that small opportunity window out here. We are watching these markets. I wanted to look at the volume as it comes in. It seems like everybody waits to the end of the day. About 2.8 billion shares right now. And we'll keep moving out here. Let me see if I can find it. Off 98 on the Dow now, 26 on the NASDAQ. Off 12 on the S&P. Just a lot of chop out here in the markets, but sure would like to see 15 points, 16 points lower, and get a decent signal. We'll have a much better opportunity, knowledge of what this market's going to do out here, but got a lot of stocks that I would love to see just pull back a little bit more. One of them is Acme Packet, and that is APKT. One that kind of is in that networking sector that's been hit extremely hard, but volume's been fairly light out here the last few days. But I think a lot of these are going to be tested one more time. The June 4th low at $21.39 with 1.3 million shares. Not a lot of volume, especially when you look at some lows like the January 4th low, having 16 million shares. Of course, that was at $25.20. You went below that with 24.88, 3.3 million shares. You've had one big volume day since then, and that was actually kind of a reversal day on their earnings, up to $30.21 on the 3rd of May. But if this could come back down, actually go below it, kind of get pushed out, maybe get into the $20 range and then pop back up. Certainly a lot of stocks are setting up in these kind of patterns, and I kind of like them. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648 and ask your own question. This is a fairly good day to actually do this, and we'll be talking it. Just looks like we're headed down. at least into the close here today. One other question they had about Tiger dollars, and I'll bring this up, is they were asking whether or not these webinars are going to be archived, and they sure will be. For 30 days on your account page on TFNN, you'll be able to go to them and watch any of these webinars. So if you're not there to watch it live on Wednesday nights and ask questions, you'll be able to watch it in the comfort of your home, maybe over a weekend, maybe on a tablet that doesn't have an AMD chip in it. But certainly going to be the summer of education at TFNN here, and some great webinars. I've got a little preview of some of the stuff that the other guys are going to do. I think it's going to be very good. Anyway, the next one I want to look at is Discovery Laboratories, DSCO. This is another one that I'd love to see kind of fill a gap a little bit more on lighter volume. Maybe we could see that in a nice shot down, maybe Thursday, Friday. Hopefully we get it in the next couple of days. And maybe set up a nice little trading opportunity between now and the 4th of July. This one is the really the pattern we've always been looking for here on this show and in the Path of Least Resistance newsletter. This is the standard Wyckoff pattern when you break out over an existing level with volume. You did that on the 2nd of February. You popped up with 3.2 million shares. You actually made a super high volume high on a reversal up to $5.39 on March 7th. It's been coming down and pretty much consolidating here. It may take a little while, maybe even take the 4th of July, but I certainly like this pattern where that bounce up on over 3 million shares has come back once on April 10th and tested it with 900,000 shares. Came back into it on May 18th, kind of like 730,000 shares. It's kind of like skipping a rock across a smooth pond out there. First time it bounces pretty good. Then it bounces a little less. Then it bounces a little less. And eventually all the energy's out of it. And, of course, the sellers at the same time. And if you can catch these that are at very good and decent support, a lot of times these are pretty good, especially a $2 stock that can make it to $5 possibly. Nice 100% possible gainer out here. Keep that on your radar. Talking to Steve Rhodes just before the show today also, and it was kind of interesting. We were talking a little bit about natural gas, and I was bringing up Monday about the seasonal charts that we talked about, and about the third week in July is a fairly decent seasonal low for natural gas. And I think we could probably come back up at that. But another one of these stocks that's actually this is an ETN, really looking kind of washed out down here, is the Natural Gas Total Return Sub-Index Fund, ETN. Symbol is GAZ. And actually I was talking to him about one that I was looking at, also BOIL, B-O-I-L. Another one making a fairly decent pattern out here. We'll go back to gas in a second. But these natural gas ETFs or ProShares all doing fairly well on light volume. This one's a little less traded, but giving the same kind of indication out here that we should, it's an ETN. But I wasn't saying trade it so much as look at it, G7 in the den. BOIL is a ProShares, same kind of thing, 140,000 shares out here at the last low at $29.30 on April 19th. What are we going to have? If that's right, we've got like 35,000 shares in BOIL here today. Just a very, very light volume when we come back to these lows. And, you could have a little bounce out of here and maybe just a few more weeks of consolidation out here at these light levels. But was bringing it up to Steve that T. Boone Pickens was coming out and making a major call that the low is in on natural gas. This may be one of the better trades out here for the long term that we see in the world. Keep an eye on, NAV. We'll probably look at that too as we take a look. Navistar, okay. Anyway, I was going to go back to GAZ. Again, this is a ETN, and it has all the problems of an ETN that we've witnessed earlier in this year. But even though it may be a little bit more risky than an ETF, I did want to point this out. In the same thing, we had a nice low at $2.90, 620,000 shares. Came into it below it on basically a third of that on June 5th. Down to 280 and 210,000 shares. But this is really what you want to see in a nice consolidation, and that is, I'm going to try to zoom in here to the volume charts. Just look at that volume from back there at the peak, and don't even look at the chart itself so much as just draw a nice little line off these peaks back into these lows, and you can really see how I like to buy commodities, especially when everybody's doesn't have, they just don't like them anymore. It's like gold. When everybody hates it, that's the time I like to look at it. And when no one's really interested and it's very quiet in these ETNs and ETFs for natural gas, I kind of like looking at them right then, keeping an eye on them. But got to be doing that here. We got Kevin from Marina Del Rey about UNG. And how you doing today, Kevin?
Hey, Dave. How you, man?
Fine. We're actually looking at UNG here now also, another one. And probably the one thing that you have to know about UNG is that it does handle or does have contagion and from the underlying contract. So sometimes it can get a little more volatile than you would think it would compared to the actual natural gas contract. What are you thinking about doing here?
Well, it's just hitting these lows, and I was just wondering if it was worth, nibbling at or something.
Did you look at that seasonal chart for Monday?
No, I didn't.
I don't have it up here. Did you listen to the show at all?
I'm listening to the show right now.
I meant on Monday.
No.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can't bring it up here while we're talking. But UNG just has a little bit more to go. But let me see if I can bring this up. Are you watching on Tiger TV by chance?
I am. Even though, it's delayed out here. It's like, probably goes all the way around the world before it gets to my post.
I know that it's like 5 minutes delayed some places. But see if I can have it. I'm going to try to pop this thing up very quickly as we're speaking here. Strategies, ETF futures, energy, and see if we can find natural gas. There we go, and I'll try to pop it up here. But you'll get a chance in a minute, or you can go back to the archive tonight. But I was showing this on Monday, and this company, or this guy, he's a German guy. He hadn't updated this in a while, but he's got some fairly decent charts for seasonal charts. Where he's gone back and looked at the bias based on the time of the year. And someone brought up in the day, it was probably a pretty good idea to think about how some of these may have changed since then. Like corn, where a lot more corn is grown all over the world now, just not in the United States. But if you look at this, there's a huge spike down almost always in the third week of June. And that's right before contracts are being signed with the electric producers in the United States. You want to hang on?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you gain access to each host charts and computer screen as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, Dave White, Larry Pesavento, or Victor Jones, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV yet, then visit TFNN.com today to see what you're missing. Would you like a personal update from Tom O'Brien as to what equities he's trading and what his daily trading plan is before the market opens each morning? Every market day, Tom O'Brien sends out his daily newsletter, Market Insights, to hundreds of subscribers that rely on his daily recommendations when it comes to navigating these highly volatile markets we're dealing with. As recently as May 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out all 5 open positions for a combined profit of over 68% in one day. Profits ranged from 6.5% to over 24%, and all of these trades had been initiated within the previous 30 days. Now is the perfect time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's explosive trading newsletter, Market Insights, an $85 value. Tom breaks down the market each morning with his market take and provides trade recommendations including precise stops and target profit zones, leaving nothing left to guessing. Log on to TFNN.com today and sign up for your 2-week free trial. Make sure you're a subscriber the next time Market Insight subscribers close out multiple winning trades. Take action and sign up for your free trial today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back with Kevin from Marina Del Rey. You live on a boat, Kevin?
Yeah.
Cool. I lived on a boat on the Ohio River for about almost 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So I had a nice, what kind of boat do you have?
I've got like an Amapa 34-foot bluefin,
Okay.
Twin diesels. It's a cool boat.
It is. I had an aft cabin Carver cruiser.
Oh, nice.
A little bit more room.
Yeah.
Than one of those. You've got kind of one of those fishing boats with the door you walk out onto the swim platform and all that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make for a lot of cabin room inside, does it?
No, and you have to have the canvas outside to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you're just losing space.
Yeah. Well, of course, I had to have more inside because, of course, half the year it was freezing in Cincinnati, so not the same kind of. You couldn't just go out and sit out on the deck if you wanted to. So, but it was very nice. I tell you what, you don't have a lot of things. And, I took my laundry out, so I never did any laundry for about 6 years.
Yeah.
So it really changed the way I did stuff. But had the kind of the life of Quincy. We sat up there and looked at our boats up there in the restaurant, and everybody would pile on in about 6:30, 7 o'clock when everybody got off work. It was kind of neat. We had about 6 or 7 bachelors down there on the boats. So, Anyway,
I like the weather out here. It's beautiful.
It certainly is. I was going to get back to this chart, which hopefully caught up to you if you're watching Tiger TV. I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah, no, I saw it. That was cool. Yeah.
Okay, there's a fairly decent statistical evidence, and there is an organic reason, and that is that's when the contracts are signed for energy production, electric energy production. I would suspect that we might see a lot of movements, especially with a lot of the coal producers doing so poorly. I suspect that they're going to have to be buying a lot more natural gas, especially with the EPA regulations. So I think we may have one of these kind of perfect storms coming up that's going to be very good for trading natural gas. But I suspect we might have a nice pullback, that everybody kind of one false last move out there just to scare everybody.
Right.
And I think maybe that be out there in July. But I've caught UNG a few times out there. I've also had some contagion and contango on it a couple of times. I'm going to have to look at the natural gas contract real good to see how that's going to play out over July. But I think we probably have about another 30 days. And I'm going to be looking for, not just a nice buy, but I think kind of a scary, no one wants any natural gas out there anywhere near in the future. But pretty good indication. This guy hadn't updated his charts for since 2007, but he had 17 years of natural gas futures. Pretty good indication that your buy point is somewhere in the last week of July. I want to thank you, Kevin, for the phone call on UNG.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
You bet. And I'm thinking about living on a boat again. That would be awful sweet out there. Anyway, I see Tom O'Brien in the bullpen getting ready to do the wrap-up for us. I think he's going to be in here with Steve Rhodes again tonight, so we'll have the 1-2 punch of our money masters out there. And just with the last 30 seconds to go, we've talked about the Tiger dollars out here. We're going to all be doing our webinars throughout the summer, as I'm calling it, the Summer of Education at TFNN. All you got to do is buy some Tiger Bucks, go to the front page of TFNN, and check it out. And I'll be doing one the 22nd of August. So we'll be looking for that. And Tom O'Brien will be on in less than 10 minutes. About 6.5, actually. We'll see you all on Friday.